I know these great artists, so they're gonna sign it for me. Many times people come in this office here, 40 Acres and A Mule in Brooklyn, they say, the first word they say is, Spike, this is a museum. Spike, you should put this in a museum. So it's going to be presented as a museum, being in the Brooklyn Museum and the show. What I'm doing now as a grown-ass man is not any different when I was a young kid in Brooklyn, or get autographs. Just that now I got the means of ways and the space to house all these things. Sports is a big part of my life. Just my father introduced me to sports as a young kid, and legend has it that he was a great athlete. I was too young to see that, but that was a legend. And so he was taking me to Knick games. So from the get-go, I was a Knick fan. One of the most meaningful, you want to use artifact in this exhibition, part of the happiest day of my life, one of them. It was May 8th, 1970, Game 7, Madison Square Garden, the New York Knicks versus the Lakers. I was at that game. Knicks won their first world championship. And so I had the net from that game and ticket stuff. Try to go for stuff that was worn by that athlete when they were doing their thing. I've become friends with these guys who were my heroes. Press, publicity for a lot of my films, I go overseas. So I remember first I went to Rome and I asked the publicist, did she know Fellini? She says, yeah, Fellini's a good friend of mine. So I said, I'd like to have dinner with him. So she arranged it. And for the next 3 years, every time I came to Rome, we would have dinner. And every time I had a big giant poster for him to sign. Strata, 8.5. I didn't know Fellini when I was 10 years old. I didn't know, these greats. I was in my office the other day and I discovered this Rage of Bull poster that was signed by Jake LaMotta, and I forgot I had it. I called De Niro's office and said, you gotta sign this. He signed it. And tomorrow Scorsese's gonna sign it. So that's gonna be a Rage Bull poster signed by Jake LaMotta, Marty, and Bob. I asked the late great Prince for a guitar, and it showed up a year later. I had forgotten I even asked him for the guitar. He gifted it to me. Bernardine White, the great bass, Earth, Wind & Fire. David Byrne just gifted me a guitar. Another, you might say, the person in the pantheon who's many people refer to as a GOAT, and that person is Michael Jordan. He was born in Brooklyn. I got a lot of stuff from Michael. Game worn, signed Jordans. Stuff we did together for Nike. I have a relationship with these people, so I make the calls myself. A lot of Jackie Robinson stuff too. My father told me Jackie, he meant so much to the advancement of us as a people. And you think of Brooklyn, I think of Jackie. You think of Jackie, you think of Brooklyn. This is 2 or 3 miles from here was where Ebbetsfield stood. My father's a great musician. Bill Lee recently passed. Great musician, jazz bassist, folk bassist. We just grew up, and not just me and my siblings, I'm the first of 5. We grew up with music being played all the time, and we would see our father perform. My brother David is a very fine photographer, and he's been the unit photographer on all my films. Being a filmmaker, I mean, got to know some of these photographers, especially Gordon Parks. So once I got to know these people and got to know their work, I'm gonna start collecting this stuff. I never got to meet the great James Vandersea, Avedon, Irving Penn, something which very few people have seen except my students, the leather-bound handwritten scripts, because I don't type. So the first draft of my scripts are handwritten, my left hand, and 3-ring binder paper. That means a lot to me. Those, even more than the awards. So those actual handwritten scripts that all the stuff has come from. It's been difficult to whittle down. Even with this show, there's still a lot of stuff that can't make it because there's only a limited amount of space. There's still things, you know, I'm still collecting. And not stopping now.